Yesterday, my day started at 8:30. I had an appointment with the resource manager in one of the departments, and he had an interview with a prospective new employee, an engineer in Saudi Arabia. I listened to him for about 15 minutes for this phone call, and then spent about 10 minutes after that discussing some of the problems he had. He has a tendency to speak rather quickly, so sometimes the guy on the other end couldn't always understand him. And also some of the phrases and words he used were not really what he meant. So I left him with a couple of notes to think about, and we'll discuss those in the next lesson I have with him. Then at 9 o'clock I got back to my desk and I had a cancellation, which was sort of handy because I also had an email asking me to check a requirement specification that they would ideally like before lunchtime. So I spent an hour going through that, checking some technical vocabulary, checking that they had the right verbs and forms and things, and sent that off. Then that was time for my 10 o'clock class, which is a group of young engineers, all of them started in the company really recently. Their English is pretty good because they're not long out of university and school, but they have no presentation skills, and their technical vocabulary could do with a bit of work too. So we're in the middle of a series of mini workshops at the moment, looking at phrases that we use in presentations, helping them create the presentations with the right sort of vocabulary, and practicing it as well, because this is something they're quite nervous about. Then at 11 o'clock I had another appointment with a team assistant, and she was wanting to write an email. She usually brings her own material to the class, and the email this week was to people in Germany, China and the US about a team meeting that's coming up next month. She was very nervous because it was going out to some native speakers, so she wanted it to be pretty perfect English. And we helped, or together we worked out how to write the agenda and what she would like the people to do before the meeting. Then it was time for lunch. I sat at my desk and had lunch today because I got back and realised there were a few emails that wanted checking. This is when people send me emails and say, can you make sure this is okay before I send it out, often to customers, so they want the English to be pretty good.